Hey folks, Dex here. Welcome back for another Conflikt 47 update. Last time we looked at the new toys that the Axis was going to have to play with, so let's look at what the Allies are bringing to the table. The Allies are bringing 2 squads of the new plastic Firefly infantry, led by a new resin Firefly officer, 2 Linebacker mechs, and 1 M5 Sherman with a Tesla. Now, Firefly infantry are not actually new. Those were available in Konflikt 47 version 1. However, these are new plastic kits, which open up a bunch of options for modeling and new weapons options. As stated, the officer is actually a resin model, just like with the Axis. And in this case, the officer is equipped with a Firefly jump pack, something that previously hadn't been a possibility in Konflikt 47. Now, I do want to mention that all of the Firefly infantry seem to have the option of taking these new Thompson Tesla models, and from what we have heard, and this is only a rumor, but a well-substantiated one, these Tesla Thompsons are actually going to be +110 submachine guns. Now, for those that don't know, that is an awful lot of firepower to be packing into basic infantry models. And here we have the various weapons that are available in this plastic kit, and I'd like to draw attention to a few of the special weapons. Obviously, as I mentioned previously, we have the Thompson X, which is a phenomenal sidearm for these guys to begin with, but you'll notice that we have a couple special weapons in here as well. First up for the special weapons, it looks like we have the option of taking a Browning automatic rifle. That's going to give the Fireflies a little bit of a range advantage over those Thompsons. I'm unsure how many you'll be able to take in a team, however. Next up, we have flamethrowers, and it looks like we'll be able to take more than one. That is pretty huge. Having infantry that are able to move 12 inches on an advance and then use a flamethrower is going to be very, very dangerous. In addition to that, we have what look like light anti-tank weapons, apparently shoulder-fired rocket launchers. I am thinking that these will probably be the Ally version of the Panzerfaust. Historically, these were a thing, but not around 1947. It was actually much later than that the law was developed. However, with the advanced tech offered from the Rift, it looks like we jumped things up a little bit and are going straight to laws. Next up, we have the Tesla Stewart. Now, this was actually already a thing in Konflikt 47 version 1. However, it was the Tesla Stewart M3, I believe. And this looks like an M5 version Stewart. Game-wise, there's not a whole lot of difference between the two. However, model-wise, this one looks like it has a new and improved resin turret, which is different than the previous existing resin turret. One thing that stands out to me is that big infrared spotlight right off the side, and I'm curious if this is going to have the infrared rule, allowing it to ignore environmental and smoke effects. Now, in Konflikt 47 version 1, the light Tesla cannon was actually a fantastic weapon. It had a +4 penetration value, and when fired at infantry, it would arc off to new targets, hitting 1d6 +1 targets, with a maximum number of hits equal to the size of the squad it was shooting. Now, those arcing hits would only be at +110, but when you compared this to the number of hits that you would get from a traditional Stewart with its high explosive round, this was a straight upgrade. Obviously, the big question now, is it still the same? Moving right along, we have the big boy. Here is what everybody was waiting for. This is the new plastic Linebacker jump walker. That's right, plastic mech. This is our first full-size plastic mech. Now, the Linebacker is interesting because they actually wrote this into the lore as a replacement for the old Mud Skipper. And when you look at them and their weapon profiles side by side, It's pretty obvious that this is essentially a reimagining of that unit. We don't know much about the rules for this unit yet, but we do know what its available weapon profiles are going to look like. It looks like we're going to have 4 main weapon options and 2 chin-mounted weapon options. At the front of the cockpit, look like it's going to be an option between 2 medium machine guns or a flamethrower. Honestly, those are both fantastic options, and I think based on the rules is going to depend on which one most people are going to want to take. The arm-mounted weapon options, on the other hand, are all good, and I think it's going to actually be fairly difficult for people to choose which ones they want to equip. 2 of your weapon options are essentially anti-tank focused, and the other 2 are anti-horde focused. However, from what we've been able to tell from the pictures posted online, it looks like you are able to equip whichever ones you want in whatever order. Your 2 anti-tank options appear to be a Tesla cannon of some variety, whether it's a light or heavy Tesla cannon, we don't know, or dual bazookas. Now, equipping Tesla and bazookas is going to give you 3 solid anti-tank shots off of this one unit, and that is pretty good. Now, with solid anti-tank options like that, obviously your anti-horde options are going to need to be really good to tempt you to take them. Well, I have good news for you, because they are excellent. You have dual heavy machine guns and dual light autocannons. Dual heavy machine guns is going to give you 6 shots with +1 pen, and dual light autocannons will give you 4 shots at +2 pen with the option of employing high explosives. Obviously, you can also mix and match here, going for a single anti-tank option and a single anti-horde option. That's actually probably the course that's going to be best for most people. Now that is about it for all of the new options that are going to be available for the Allies in Conflikt 47 version 2. I do want to point out that the Tesla Stewart is actually only available in the starter army and not in the 2-player starter set. The 2-player starter set will still get you the resin officer, the Firefly jump infantry, and one of the walkers. You would need to get the starter army if you wanted to get the 2 walkers and the Tesla Stewart. Of course, that won't come with a rulebook. Thanks for joining me for this video. That's about all that I have for the Allies' new releases. If I find out anything else, I'll make sure to put a video up. Thanks very much, everyone, and stay weird.